contention, devoted Cleveland Browns faithful, something seismic is unfolding in the AFC North that could reshape the division's balance of power and directly impact the Browns' trajectory toward a Super Bowl return. This isn't just off-season chatter. It's a pivotal development that might leave one of our rivals reeling for years. We're delivering this story straight to your screen, but before we dive into it, if you bleed brown and orange, make it official. Subscribe to the channel and stand proudly as part of this passionate family. Let's grow this movement together and hit that 1,000 subscriber milestone. Share this with fellow Browns warriors. Let's make some noise. Now, on to the major news, Browns fans. You know how volatile and unpredictable the NFL offseason can be, and 2025 has been no exception. The Cleveland Browns, a franchise with a storied legacy and one of the most resilient fan bases in sports, have been dominating headlines, but no storyline has ignited more intrigue than the battle brewing inside the quarterback room. In a bold, unprecedented move, Cleveland didn't just draft a single quarterback. They selected 2 signal callers within the first 5 rounds of the 2025 NFL Draft. It was a strategic gamble by a team laser-focused on recapturing its identity and marching back into Super Bowl contention. But why such an aggressive emphasis on the QB position? That's the million-dollar question, and the answer is as complex as it is compelling. In pursuit of consistency and greatness at the game's most crucial position, the Browns acquired Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, 2 gifted young quarterbacks with sky-high potential. Their arrival has ignited a whirlwind of excitement, speculation, and now a few growing pains. On paper, the quarterback room is loaded. Deshaun Watson, the designated franchise leader, remains at the top, but lingering injuries and questions about his performance have raised eyebrows. Joe Flacco, the grizzled veteran, brings leadership and playoff pedigree. Kenny Pickett, formerly of Pittsburgh, is now vying for a new beginning and a starting role. And then there's Dylan Gabriel, the second-round gem from Oklahoma, who flashed brilliance in spring practices but has recently encountered unexpected obstacles. However, the most captivating subplot revolves around Shedeur Sanders, the dynamic former Oregon standout. Lauded for his elite arm strength, mobility, and natural leadership, Sanders turned heads at rookie minicamp, instantly winning over coaches and fans with his maturity and athletic prowess. For a moment, it felt like Sanders was destined to fast-track his way to the top, but just before training camp, momentum shifted. Reports emerged Sanders had been involved in a series of late-night speeding incidents. Now, mistakes happen, especially for young players adjusting to the spotlight. But in the NFL, off-field discipline matters. And for a rookie trying to solidify his place, those incidents have consequences. Now, Sanders finds himself buried at 4th on the depth chart, trailing Flacco, Pickett, and Gabriel, a staggering fall for a player who just weeks ago was being hailed as a future starter. So what happened? Veteran Browns insider Mary Kay Cabot has been digging deep, and the answer may come down to one core strength: Dylan Gabriel's exceptional processing speed and poise under pressure. Coaches are reportedly mesmerized by his ability to analyze defenses, make quick reads, and operate the offense like a machine. Across rookie minicamp, OTAs, and mandatory camp, Gabriel has looked calm, confident, and intellectually sharp, the traits that elevate good quarterbacks to great ones. As we approach joint practices with the Panthers and Eagles, and with preseason action looming, Gabriel has a massive opportunity to seize the spotlight. These next few weeks are critical. For every young quarterback on the roster, preseason isn't just a warm-up, it's a live audition, a proving ground, a moment to rise. And right now it looks like Gabriel may be the one turning heads at the right time. Emerges as the front runner, especially if he maintains his upward trajectory. But this situation has sparked an avalanche of reactions across the Browns fan base. Some supporters are undeniably frustrated with Shedeur Sanders, scoffing that he's merely a 5th-round selection and questioning what happened to the glowing early reports from rookie minicamp, where he appeared poised to steal the spotlight. Others, however, are more empathetic, suggesting perhaps Sanders simply needs an environment that genuinely values his talent and grants him a fair opportunity. And then, of course, there are the fans, injecting a bit of humor into the chaos, quipping, at this rate, he might end up RB1. A nod to the backfield traffic jam brewing in Cleveland. Let's be honest, for Browns fans, this offseason has been nothing short of electric and chaotic. With the addition of both Gabriel and Sanders in April's draft, the Browns quarterback room swelled to 5, an unusually high number. That means 5 unique skill sets, 5 competing mindsets, and 5 very different visions for who should command the huddle. But make no mistake, this isn't just about who throws the prettiest spiral. It's about trust, leadership, and who can weather the storm. And the drama hasn't stopped on the gridiron. Off-field developments have stirred national attention. None more troubling than the incident involving second-round pick Quinshon Judkins. A dynamic young running back. Reports out of Florida confirmed that Judkins was arrested in connection with a domestic violence case, a serious issue that casts a heavy cloud over what should be a season of promise. This isn't just an unfortunate headline. It's a stark reminder that NFL teams don't just manage talent, they manage character, culture, and crisis. Browns Nation, you know this better than anyone. In the NFL, momentum can shift in a heartbeat. Injuries, off-field setbacks, or a single preseason performance can reshape an entire depth chart. But it's not the adversity that defines a team, it's the response. Let's bring it back to the quarterback storyline, because make no mistake, this is the axis upon which the entire 2025 season may turn. Deshaun Watson's history of injuries and inconsistency has cast a long shadow over the franchise's future. Yes, he has the tools. Yes, he's proven. But the Browns need more than flashes. They need stability. Enter Dylan Gabriel, whose rise during the spring and summer has caught the eye of coaches, teammates, and analysts alike. But promise is only part of the formula. Now comes the proving ground, the preseason, where hype is tested under live fire. And while Gabriel's trajectory is promising, he still has to seal the deal when it matters most. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders remains one of the most intriguing figures in the NFL this summer. Despite the setbacks, his ceiling is undeniable. But he's walking a tightrope now, trying to reclaim momentum and fight his way back into relevance. It's the classic NFL narrative, a gifted rookie battling against the odds, the veterans, and the public eye, all in pursuit of a shot that could change his life. I have unwavering confidence in Shedeur Sanders, a quarterback I firmly believe should have been the first overall pick in this year's draft. And let's be honest, I'm convinced the NFL attempted to send a harsh message to both Shedeur and his iconic father, Deion Sanders. They didn't just pass on him, they deliberately orchestrated a fall, pushing him all the way to the 5th round, where Cleveland finally selected him. Nearly 50 picks after already grabbing Dylan Gabriel, another quarterback. So let me ask you, do you really know what greatness looks like? Have you truly witnessed a quarterback capable of conjuring magic when the lights are off and no one's watching? Because what transpired behind closed doors last week in Miami has NFL scouts, general managers, and team owners in an outright frenzy. Shedeur Sanders just delivered a workout so transcendent, so flawless, so jaw-droppingly spectacular that it forced seasoned evaluators, men who've dissected elite talent for decades, to question everything they thought they knew about the position. The murmurs began on Tuesday. By Friday, it was the only thing being whispered in war rooms across the league. Now, the world is starting to understand why Coach Prime has remained so adamant about his son's future in the NFL. What you're about to hear may completely redefine your perspective on the 2025 NFL Draft. But before we dive into what happened in that exclusive training session, I have a question for you. How many times have we seen quarterback prospects get hyped into oblivion only to completely collapse when the lights hit? How many Heisman darlings have disintegrated under the relentless pressure of the pros? Remember Ryan Leaf? Remember Jamarcus Russell? The cemetery of overhyped quarterbacks is packed with players who dominated Saturdays but disintegrated on Sundays. And that's what makes what Shedeur did last week so staggeringly profound. This wasn't some cut-up highlight reel against weak collegiate defenses. This wasn't a manipulated social media clip meant to bolster his brand. This was pure, unfiltered NFL-caliber evaluation conducted under intense scrutiny. Here's what we know. About 3 weeks ago, word began circulating through NFL circles. Shedeur Sanders had orchestrated a private workout in Miami. But this wasn't just any workout. This was held at the Elite Performance Facility, frequented by legends like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, a place known for refining greatness, far from media chaos and public noise. But Shedeur wasn't inviting yes men. He summoned the wolves. Former NFL defensive coordinators, ruthless evaluators, critics who don't care about social media buzz or flashy bloodlines, guys who've scouted everyone from Peyton Manning to Patrick Mahomes. And they showed up. Picture the scene. It's 6:00 a.m. in Miami. The sun is just beginning to cast golden rays over the pristine field. Inside the facility, the air is electric with anticipation. 15 stone-faced NFL executives, scouts, and coaches, clipboards ready, eyes narrowed. Then Shedeur walks in. No PR team, no music, no spotlight. Just a young man carrying the weight of a historic last name and the hopes of a generation of fans who believe in him. The silence was deafening. Then came the drills. The first one seemed basic, 40-yard throws to stationary targets. But these weren't college receivers. These were former NFL route technicians, professionals who test a quarterback's precision and rhythm like no college corner ever could. Shedeur's first throw? A laser, 40 yards on a rope, perfect spiral, pinpoint placement. The scouts exchanged glances, still stoic. Second throw, the stakes rise, a comeback route requiring anticipation, NFL-level timing, and blind trust. Shedeur releases the ball before the receiver makes his break. It lands directly on the chest at the precise moment of the turn. One scout drops his clipboard, and that was just the warm-up. Then came the real trial-simulated pressure, full speed, full intensity, a defense composed of recent NFL starters, not scrubs, veterans who lived to confuse quarterbacks with disguises, rotations, and mental chess. The scenario? 2-minute drill. Down by 6. No timeouts. 85 yards to glory. They knew they were witnessing something rare, something extraordinary. But that was just the beginning. The next drill was designed to expose flaws, crush egos, and test a quarterback's true composure under fire. They brought in pass rushers, not rookies, not washed-up veterans, but former Pro Bowlers, warriors who spent years wreaking havoc on NFL backfields. These were men who perfected the art of pressure, who made a living reducing quarterbacks to rubble. The setup was merciless, a 7-step drop, deep developing routes, and relentless pressure coming from every direction. No favors, no soft reps, no coddling the kid with the famous last name. Shedeur takes the snap, chaos erupts. A speed demon barrels off the edge, a bulldozer crashes through the interior, a linebacker times a delayed blitz to perfection. The pocket implodes. Rapidly, violently, any typical QB would fold, most would flee, some would hit the turf and pray, but not Shedeur. He glides, 2 steps left, calm, calculated, never taking his eyes off the field. Then, under direct fire, he unleashes a 30-yard dime, threading it between 2 defenders as a defender closes in. He gets hit, hard, but the ball sails cleanly, crisply into the receiver's hands. The pass rusher who was about to level him, he just stops and watches. The facility freezes in stunned silence. Then, one clap. Then another. And within seconds, the entire scouting contingent is on their feet, erupting into applause like they just witnessed the birth of a legend. But that was just the drills. This isn't your typical offseason Cinderella tale where a rookie dazzles for a few practices, fans cheer, and reality soon reclaims its throne. No, this is upheaval. This is the tremor before the quake. A cultural reset wrapped in shoulder pads and soaked ambition. That now viral footage of Shedeur grinding alone in the rain, it wasn't just visually compelling, it was symbolic. In a league obsessed with image, this wasn't curated content. No entourage, no glossy camera angles, just rain-slicked turf, drenched gloves, and a quarterback possessed by purpose. And it sparked a question Cleveland's been too afraid to ask for years. What if the best quarterback on the roster isn't the most expensive, the most seasoned, or the most hyped? What if he's a 22-year-old machine built, brick by brick, in Deion Sanders' house of iron? You can feel the shift in the air. The veterans sense it. The coaching staff senses it. And the fans, they already know. Shedeur isn't gently knocking on opportunity's door. He's kicking it off the hinges. While the Browns front office plays the politics of depth charts with whispered caution, the truth is already loud. There's a revolution unfolding at quarterback, and the only question now is whether Cleveland will lead it or get trampled by it. Before the social clips, before the ESPN takes, before the whispers leaked from Berea to the national stage, Shedeur Sanders was already in the shadows, grinding before the sun came up and long after the field lights faded. No cameras, no endorsements, no clout-chasing crew, just a soaked field, a soaked QB, and the kind of grueling repetition that never trends, yet always shows up on Sundays. What separates Shedeur from every other offseason darling? He didn't want the cameras. That viral video wasn't a PR stunt. It was leaked, captured by a stunned team assistant who stumbled upon a lone warrior executing footwork drills in midnight rain like a surgeon rehearsing a high-stakes operation. He wasn't posing. He was preparing Deep outs, perfect timing, wind whipping, hands freezing, and he stayed. And he kept throwing. The rawness of it hit hard because it didn't feel like marketing, it felt like obsession. That's what lit the spark. Not a TikTok, not a coach's praise, but proof. Proof that Shedeur isn't chasing media relevance, he's chasing greatness. When that clip started circulating within the Browns' own walls, the energy shifted. Conversations turned from whispers to declarations. Coaches raised eyebrows. Players started texting, "Yo, you seen this?" And they started showing up earlier too, because when your quarterback's in the rain at midnight, grinding, how dare you stroll in late the next day? But let's be real. Viral moments don't earn you starting jobs, production does. And what Shedeur is doing in camp, that's where the myth meets measurement. We all love the underdog narrative, grit, grind, solitude, but if it doesn't translate into execution on the field, it's just soggy theater. Only Shedeur is producing. He's not just working hard, he's outperforming the entire quarterback room. Let this sink in. 75% completion rate in camp as a rookie against NFL speed. These aren't soft drills with hand-picked targets. These are full-sped reps with second and third string receivers battling professional defenders. And yet, he's delivering darts. On time, on script, with calm precision. So now, I'm turning the mic to you. If you're Andrew Berry, what's your move? Do you ride the wave with Sanders and hand him the reins early, or do you stay the course with the veterans while Sanders marinates? And on defense, are you already sensing the makings of the league's most fearsome front seven? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and hit subscribe if you're ready to ride with me all season long. This season, I don't just see Garrett showing up as a dominant pass rusher. I see him emerging as the emotional and physical tone setter for this entire defense. Let's be honest. That's what we've needed. The Browns have had flashes of defensive brilliance before, but now we need sustained greatness. Garrett, with all eyes on him, looks locked in and ready to take that next step. He's not just leading with his play, he's mentoring, raising the bar higher than ever before. Shedeur Sanders could be that guy. His arm strength, field vision, and football intelligence fit the profile. But what happened next? That's when things truly turned historic. Because after every series, Shedeur didn't head to the sideline to celebrate. He walked over to the defenders. He asked questions. What coverage were you disguising? What tipped your rotation? What would you do differently? He wasn't just playing the game, he was studying it in real time, dissecting it, mastering it. A former NFL linebacker, floored by what he witnessed, told reporters, "I've worked out with quarterbacks who've been in the league for a decade, and they don't ask the questions this kid was asking. He's processing info and adjusting in ways I don't even see from some current starters." The workout lasted hours. Hours of nonstop, high-stakes NFL-level execution, and by the end, everything changed. The scouts, who walked in cold, arms crossed and skeptical, were now huddled together, buzzing. They were scribbling notes like madmen. Some were pacing. Others were staring at Shedeur like they'd just seen football's future unfold right in front of them. One general manager who requested anonymity was overheard saying, "We just watched the most complete quarterback workout I've seen in 20 years. This kid's not just NFL ready, he could start tomorrow." But the impact of that day didn't end when the doors closed. Within 48 hours, 3 teams had already reached out to Shedeur's camp requesting private meetings. Teams that had shown little interest before were suddenly reshuffling their draft boards. Rumors began swirling. The New York Giants, in desperate search of a franchise savior, allegedly sent both their head coach and offensive coordinator to review film of the workout. The Las Vegas Raiders, hungry for a face of the franchise, reportedly had their owner personally contact Shedur's agent. But the most telling reaction? Looking forward, Browns fans have every reason to feel fired up. This is one of the deepest and most promising rosters Cleveland has assembled in years. The defense is ferocious, the offensive line is maturing, and the coaching staff appears laser-focused on making 2025 the breakout year we've all been waiting for. But as always, the quarterback position holds the key, so what will it be? Will Dylan Gabriel seize the spotlight and ascend to QB1 by outdueling veterans and rookies alike? Can Shedeur Sanders rebound from early adversity and remind the league why he was one of the most exciting dual-threat prospects in the country? Or will the seasoned hands of Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett prove too steady and experienced to unseat? The answers are coming, and they'll be written in real time over the next few weeks. One thing's for certain, though, Cleveland fans aren't just spectators. They're soldiers in this fight for resurgence. Years of heartache and near misses. This city is starved for glory, and every snap, every rep, and every headline just adds fuel to that inferno of hope. The Browns are more than just a football team, they're a symbol of resilience. And this quarterback battle, with all its twists, talent, and turmoil, is a perfect reflection of that spirit. Remember, the NFL is a league built on unpredictability. What looks like a setback today may become the spark of greatness tomorrow. Shedeur Sanders may be on the outside looking in for now, but don't count him out. Dylan Gabriel might be on the verge of history, but the job isn't won yet. And the steady hands of Flacco and Pickett remain the backbone of experience Cleveland might need when pressure peaks. Thank you guys. See you next video.